Welcome to the Crafty Maven Getaway podcast. I'm your host, Hannah.
And I'm Megan. Thanks so much for joining us today on, oh gosh, I forgot what episode we're on.
Episode 7. I actually
Seven.
know what it is today.
Yes, we're
That's
on
a pat on the
episode
back.
7.
And if I knew where I had gold stars, I'd give myself a gold star. Wait. I know what I have. I'll give myself a smiley face sticker that came
Oh,
in one of the packages of boxes I ordered from the store. So
I love that we can
whoever
see
else
all the
needs a
goodies.
smiley face sticker, let me know because I have a whole bunch. And sometimes we just need a sticker.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So hello everyone. Welcome
Hello.
to episode 7.
That was very disjointed.
That was. And I
That
think
was
that's
like
just
the
how we
worst
roll
we've
sometimes.
done in a long time. Specifically me. It's okay.
In your defense, we didn't film last week, right? And the week
This is true.
before, if I want, was it that week? The week before that, I also had a hard time coming up with words because I was editing
Yes.
episode 5 and I was like, oh my gosh, Hannah. And you came to my rescue.
Did I?
My,
I don't
maiden
even
shining
remember.
armor. So don't tell my husband I said that though. Anyway.
What are Scrappy Besties for?
To come to
Right?
my rescue. That's what they're for. But okay, so yes, we're on 7 and hopefully our brains work properly today, but
Hope
it's
so.
not off to a good start. So today we thought we'd talk about changes. See, now my song changed. Earlier I was not thinking about that song. It was another song. Anyway, because there are new things happening here.
Yeah.
If you guys didn't notice, hanging around the Crafty Maven Getaway, so we have the YouTube channel, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have all the stuff. I actually am on TikTok, but I don't really do I don't hang out on TikTok. I have a
Yeah.
TikTok account that I don't utilize nearly enough, and hopefully this year as things even out, maybe that's a possibility. But anyway, I don't really know if I feel like I need to be cool enough to utilize it as much,
Yeah.
but I do feel like 10 years ago when we were doing the Crafty Maven, I remember being like in the forefront, and that was one of the fun parts. So it is nice to be
Yeah.
like with the cool kids, even though I don't
Yeah,
care
it
about
is.
being a cool kid at all anymore. Right. But anyway, I think that there's just a lot of newer scrapbooker potentials there that
Yeah.
and this is not what I meant to talk about, but that's cool. I feel like with this newer generation that are coming into crafting, they're wanting to find their own way and do it
Right.
different than we did. And so it really would benefit us to kind of like get into their heads a little bit and figure out like what kind of stuff do they want to do in a way to keep memory keeping moving forward, because it's at the end of the day, it's not about how you do it. It's about that you're taking your photos from your phone, because we all know we're using our phones most of the time. I have my nice
Mm.
camera there and I use it for product photos. That's what I use it for.
At
And that
least you're
probably makes
using
my
it.
husband really like, he's constantly trying to remind me because I spent a lot for that camera. So, or we spent a lot of our money a couple of years ago, but anyway, so it's like getting the photos off the phone and utilizing them, right? Because on the
Mhm.
phone, like, yeah, I can go back through and my phone will show me memories, and that's fun. But to sit and look through an album of some kind
Right.
is so awesome. So,
Hmm. Yes,
like,
it's the best part.
but how we do it is not how the younger kids. And some of it is because they just don't know, because it's a whole, the digital world is a whole different thing.
Yes.
And
Oh,
we
it
kind
is.
of came into it, so we are still holding on to a lot of the old ways of doing things.
Yes. Very much. I'm gonna hold on to the old ways for a very long time, I feel
Oh, I know.
like.
I was talking to a cashier about, I don't even remember, but exactly, but the whole thing was the old way versus a newer way of doing things. And it's just like, yeah, you know, it's like you get
Yeah.
to the, I don't know what it is you get to a certain age and you're like, well, I just like it the way that I always did it.
Mhm.
Why do I need
Oh
to
yeah.
change?
Yeah.
And I remember, it's like, even 10 years ago, I remember thinking, no, like, because I was part of that newer, like that crowd that was kind of pushing forward. So
Hmm.
anyway, but yeah,
Yeah,
but we do got to bridge the gap,
we do. Yes.
because otherwise we get left behind, and I think about like the industry and how much like video content is now the thing. I mean, remember when we were just talking about design teams on our last one, but
Yeah.
remember when we started, it wasn't really even about if you did videos. They could have cared less if you
Hmm.
did videos. And I remember being
Right.
one of the first, in that first group of people that were really
Yep.
using videos. And I remember taking a business scrapbooking class. Uh and I think it was Studio Calico, because they used to do a lot of fun classes that weren't too bad priced. And
Right.
I remember taking it and going, but what about the video stuff? Because they didn't talk anything about the video content, nothing. And I was so disappointed, because I was like, but there's a whole group of us that we're
Yeah.
moving, plowing forward with
Yeah.
video content. And now, like, it's shorts and stuff, and I'm digging in
Hmm.
my heels, going, ugh.
Yep.
And there's some of the ladies that do awesome with shorts. So,
Oh yeah, Jessica from the
yep,
design team, hers that she posted.
I
Oh my
know,
gosh, I was like, this is so creative.
I know.
Like, how do I do this but be me still, you know?
Yep.
Like, and I
Like,
think
or I could
that's the
just be
hard
like her,
part.
right?
Yeah, right? Like, I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't even know where to start. I'm just gonna start copying other people, I guess. I don't know. Like,
I mean, there's something to that, right? Taking what somebody
yeah,
else is doing and making it, like, spin it just a
yeah,
little bit to make it you.
right? Yeah.
So, anyway, we thought we'd talk about all the new things that are happening here. So, if you
Yeah.
didn't know, we have a ton of different places that you can find us, and they are linked below in the description box, all the way down at the bottom of the description box. But that stuff is always in there. So you can always find where you can find us. But we thought we'd talk about some of these changes, because there's some fun stuff that I'm like super excited. And like the last few weeks has been so fun, like this whole process. I know we talked about finding a design team, and so now we have our design team, and I'll probably end up putting a little picture somewhere in here of the team that we picked, and I'm super excited. And as they're starting to roll out the beginning parts of their projects, it's super fun to see people
Yeah.
use the products and like gush about the products. It's like, obviously, I know I've taken the time to really put thought into these kits and make them fun and be able to be utilized by mixed media and scrapbooking, because like I know I do both, and like trying to find some middle ground so that people try new products, try new things, and but also hold on to some of that old stuff too that we know we
Yeah.
love.
Right.
And some months are easier than other months to do that. And sometimes it's easier to find things. And sometimes I'm like, I don't know. Like, how do I get this? Because this is what I want. But so to add the team has been super, super fun and very
Oh
like
yeah.
just I I don't know. I think it's just the fact of having a team and being on a
Mhm.
team and working collaboratively. And I mean, if anybody knows me, I am pretty go with the flow in
Yeah.
a lot of ways. But it's like I've realized that, like, in this, I'm realizing that what I want does matter too. And because there's been a couple of times you're like, hey, maybe we could do this. And I'm like, no, I kind of want this. And let me tell you how hard that has been, because it's like that people pleaser, and a lot of us,
Mhm.
it's like, I
Yep.
want to be like, no, if they think it's a good idea. And sometimes I will push back. With that said, I am stubborn. So I will push back, and then I'll go back. And so it's like, I like to have that back and forth too, because
Yeah.
sometimes what I think will work isn't really what's going to work, but I got to get there first.
Right. And I think that that's kind of the fun part about having like other people be a part of the shop and the CMG and everything. Like, because yeah, you and I on a daily basis, we're always talking and texting and like, what do you think about this? And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of times you really are very like laid back. Like there's a lot of times that I'll suggest something and you're like, yep, that's great, you know. But then you also do have times where you're like, actually, what about this? And, you know, so like you put your thoughts in there, but it's more like, I don't know, you always seem like very open to like communicating and working through things, which I love doing because I don't like you're the owner of the shop and so but
Yeah.
it's fun for me to kind of be like what about this and you know like
Yeah.
and then we
Well,
kind of just go around in circles and
and I think because we've talked about it for so long. I mean, speaking of 10
yeah.
years, like, I
Oh yeah.
remember talking about a
Oh
shop
yeah.
10 or so years ago. And I remember going, oh my gosh, no way. How would I even? I remember there was gosh, and I know I was in the garage, and I don't know why I was in the garage doing something, but I remember going, I don't even know how I'd find space to put all the product. Where would I put all the product? You know?
Yeah,
Guess
you've
what,
got a whole
guys?
room.
This was my master bedroom. It is not. I have an even cooler master bedroom now too.
Yes, you do.
But I have an awesome space that, with a super supportive husband who was like, "Yeah, sure, put your shit in there." Well, you know,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it because you know what? It made it possible for us, it's like, and
Yeah.
I really had to wrestle with that because I just didn't think that I don't know. I guess that I could do it. I don't know. I guess I knew I could, but I don't think I
Well,
was ready.
yeah, you weren't ready at all. You were in a different headspace. And I think that your partner, like your husband now, like definitely is different. You know, like
Yeah.
he like you're the same, but you're like completely different than, you know, the Hannah that I was
Yeah.
first best friends with. Like I mean, you're still you, but
Yeah.
like you definitely have like grown and like changed for the better and like and I think Jason really has like I don't know what the word is that I'm searching for, but like
Yeah.
I
He's been
think
a big
he's
part of that
yeah.
journey,
Yeah,
especially at
exactly.
it's like I did a lot of the work up front,
Hmm.
and I remember us having those conversations of the work that I was doing,
Hmm.
in my own life that had nothing really to do with scrapbooking.
Right.
But And I remember going to therapy and talking to my therapist about how much I love, scrapbooking. And she'd always be like, oh my gosh, you just light up. It's like a different version of you. And,
Yeah.
but it's like I still had to like go through all this other life stuff to get to this place to be like, okay, no, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to. And I think some of it also had to do with my age,
Yeah.
and I know I was hesitant because I had to re-come back to the industry after taking such a long break
Right.
that I needed to take, and going, okay, how do I fit in this now? This community is the same, but it's different. There are
Yeah.
so many, and I was talking to Miranda about this, because me and her and you, we've all worked together. Like when she first
Oh
came in,
yeah.
she came in after us,
You
and
did.
but we worked a lot with like her and a lot of people like that, but we were saying like how few of us from that time are still there. Like there are still quite a bit, but a lot of us from that group aren't doing. There's still quite a handful of ladies who kind of took a step back for whatever reason. And I mean, I get it. Because I had to take a break too.
Yeah.
And but anyway, but that going back to having a team, it kind of reminded me of like what the Crafty Maven was like when we first started, because that's how, like, we were a lot like this at the beginning when we first started. We were all chatting together. I mean, of course, that was a huge group of us, but
I know.
it really helped bind us together. And so I'm like super excited because there's so many talented ladies on the team, and they're all a little bit different. And I know that was one of the things that I really wanted, and you helped remind me of that. And I appreciate that, of like, okay, what are some things, that make them diverse, so we have a nice diverse group, but that we're still thinking about the aspect that I've changed the Crafty Maven a little bit to be more mixed media, lean more mixed media, because before the Crafty Maven wasn't like that. So that's going to be the biggest new thing, is that we are definitely leaning into the mixed media world, and I want it to be that way. So things might change in an organic way that I never expected, because I'm using more mixed media stuff that's different. I'm playing with the stuff. I'm trying to buy stuff that is different than what we've been used to putting on layouts. And it's not to scare people. It's not to like exclude people. It's to get people more curious about using these products, and how do we each use them with our own style, because that is so essential just in scrapbooking. As like, how do you take what you're seeing other people do and make it fit for you? It's like the whole purpose of like scrap lifting, right? Is like you take a layout that you absolutely love, or a project, and you redo it, but and some people are really not good at that. And that's where I love that some of the ladies on our team, like Jessica, has a heart for teaching. And I know even when I do things, there's certain elements that like I really try to make it. And I know that's why my videos are longer, because I do mixed media and I want to explain kind of what I'm doing. I might not be as good at teaching it, but I think that that's a skill that is really beneficial and is helpful for certain people, like not everybody on the team needs to be like that, but it's good to have somebody who that's where they're at. So because they want to help other people learn how to love products that they've never tried. Right.
Yeah. Well, and I was thinking about, because Shannon posted her first video. I want to say it was a couple days ago. It was an art party one, and I was super excited to watch it, because I was like, oh my gosh, like this is so crazy. Like, how many years has it been since we've had like design team members and like people creating for the Crafty Maven Getaway?
What was it? 2020, 2021, I think, is when we stopped posting. And even then, 2020, I think it kind of slowed down, just because that year was a really hard year for me, because I was in the middle of kind of divorce situation, and I wasn't talking about it, but it taking over a big chunk, right? So it's like I had a hard time, because I was all tapped out and I was trying to lead something that I probably should have let go, but I just didn't want to let the Crafty Maven go. And that was the hard part. Like to even have that team stop, it was like the hardest decision that I had to make. But I just knew that I couldn't be there and be as present as I needed to be. And I did, and I was not willing to give it up to somebody else. I think I remember us having those conversations.
We did.
Like, I don't want to give this to somebody else. because I think that was a conversation that was like, do we want to like hand it
Yep.
off to somebody else? But I was like, this is my baby. Like as
Yep.
much as it's everybody else's baby, it's mine.
Oh yeah.
I started to become really protective of it because I had a vision and I just knew somewhere deep down inside that it could be something even more. And look
Hmm.
at it, you know, look at
Yeah.
where we're
And look at
going.
us now.
And we're not there yet. And that's the fun
Yep.
part is we're not there yet.
Oh,
But
we'll
yeah,
get there. Yep.
anyway, so you were talking
It
about
looks
Shannon
yeah,
as
well, before we go back to that, it looks like our last video was February of 2020, which
yeah.
is really interesting because I don't remember it stopping because I feel like, and maybe it was too because I was still working back in
Yeah.
2020, and so like I wasn't doing as much, but I do remember having those
That was right
conversations
before
with
the
you.
pandemic.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like that's interesting. If I could, well, and see, and this is one of those if only I could have held out a little bit more, we probably could have did a little bit more with it. But I just remember, like
Right.
at that point,
Oh,
even then, it was still it just it it was a time we needed to kind of stop and
yeah. Yeah, I
re
do remember that. Yeah,
recalibrate.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I remember actually, I think I was one of the last people to post a video. Yeah.
And
So,
people
anyway,
still watch those old videos all
I
the time. Like they
know
get a
it's
ton of, like I was looking at the views and there's like some videos that have like thousands of views, which is like because it's the second channel and like whatever, I didn't even care about the views really. It wasn't about the
mhm,
views ever.
right.
Not that it's about the views now, but I do pay a little bit more attention now because I'm trying to make sure that people see it and not
Mhm,
necessarily that like so it's like I want the
yeah,
content to get out to people. But
right.
anyway,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
yeah.
but so
So
I was really excited that Shannon posted her first
I
video
know.
this week, and I was like, "Oh yay, it's a mixed media one!" Like that was so fun to sit and just watch.
I
And
know
I
I
really like that she does hers kind of live because
yeah.
then it kind of like walks you through the process. I don't know that I would ever do a live one because
It would
my
take
house is
forever if I
loud,
did it
and
that way.
yeah,
I would not because
it would
I've
take
scrapped
forever.
live before and I just
Yeah,
have a really hard time talking and doing at the same
I
time.
do too.
Some of it is
Yes.
the hand thing, but some of it is just my brain. And I think
Yep.
it's because both of us kind of have like ADHD tendencies, or we have ADHD. That could just be it. Especially
Yes.
as I've gotten older. Like when I was younger,
Oh
I
yeah.
never had a problem. It really wasn't until, so I think some of it and it could be even for you, is like some of it I think has to do with our health too, is like
Hmm.
it takes more for our brain to function at the
Hmm.
capacity that we need it to, right? Which is
Oh
why
yeah.
we need to scrapbook more.
Yes. This is why. I know. We talk about that all the time, right? How if we scrapbooked more, it wouldn't take so long.
I know we just have to do what we were
Just
saying that we
do
were
it.
gonna do. No, I really enjoyed watching Shannon like do the
Oh yeah.
process and say like, "Oh, I'm thinking about doing this." And I love seeing her just play with the products. Going, "Okay, I've not used this before. Let's see what happens." And that's the perfect way to go about when you first get any kind of kit, right? Is
Hmm.
like, what if I haven't used this product, what can I do with it? How do I learn how to use it but not care the results? I mean,
Right.
obviously it turned out amazing. Her spread looks
Oh
so
yeah.
pretty. I loved the colors, which I mean,
Yes.
I shouldn't have doubted it because, I spent time putting a color palette together, and
Hmm.
trying to find products that I think kind of match it, which is interesting in itself because you're never going to get a complete color palette and that's I think the hardest part is knowing
Yeah.
I have a color palette in my mind and then like, oh, this pack of embellishments has like 50 million colors in it, like
Yeah.
the one thing about Vicky Boutin, and let me tell you, I've went through some of her packs and used like the similar pack and color, like taken the colors and separated them and put them
Oh.
in kits because
Oh,
as like the Flower Emporium had certain colors that I was like, this doesn't go with this, but it goes with this. So I did that a couple of times.
yeah, that's
Hi.
awesome.
Sorry. If you guys hear my dog, I am sorry. I don't know what is wrong with him. It's like
Yes.
if no one is touching him, I know, Sadie, I know. And so now you need love. She loves love, my husky. It
Oh,
kind of,
yes.
but he's just vocal about it. She's like in your face about it. But yeah, so
Yes.
it was really nice just seeing her play with the products and
Oh,
be like,
yeah.
you know what, let's just see what happens. Because sometimes, and I mean, I think this kind of goes along with the performance anxiety type of episode. You know, it's like sometimes we're not
Yes.
sure how something is going to work. So we get all
Mhm.
like, because we gotta like feel like we gotta control it. But when you just let it be and then you figure out, oh, this is how it could work, then
Mhm.
you kind of can form an idea of how to make it and manipulate it to use
Right.
it in a way that you want.
Yeah.
Also,
Yep.
sometimes the products that you use work better on certain like papers too. And that's the another aspect of things that, I think that we sometimes don't talk about in the scrapbooking industry. It's like I remember for the longest time people talking about the warping, and I'm like, okay, well, if you just do this, like, doesn't warp as much. It's like if you just put spray on a white cardstock, it is gonna do what it's gonna do. It's
Yeah.
water or a
Yep.
liquid
Right.
going into the fabric, the fibers of the paper.
Yeah.
It's gonna get crunchy. It's
Yep.
gonna be like
It's
all
gonna.
winky wonky. Now, yeah, you could put stuff all on it that's heavy. Like this is the nice thing about not putting your layouts all away is
Mhm.
they crush each other, and then sometimes, but like, and even we've talked about this. Even gesso on there is gonna make it warp. Like I've had some
Yeah.
papers, and I was talking to Jessica about this because I was like, "What papers do you use?" Because I'm trying to think of like not just what I use, but what do other mixed media scrapbookers use for their
Right.
projects so we can give a variety of like, here's some different papers that you can use, that
Mhm.
are going to that you can get your products to work the way that you want them to. It's like, I know if I use certain mediums on certain papers,
Mhm.
I either have to be okay with how it's going to work or I need to find a different way to put it on there so that it
Right.
doesn't, uh, you know, go all
Yep.
crazy easy on you. But anyway, so I really liked just watching that, and that was super fun. It's
Yeah, that was fun.
so now, well, and Cassie just posted her layout,
Oh, did
her
she?
thread
Oh,
on
okay.
Instagram.
Oh, I'm
So we have
excited.
one just Instagram, like social media. So Cassie, she lives not that very far from me, and we found out we live like even closer than we thought we did, which is super
Oh,
fun.
fun.
Um, and she is manning the Facebook group, and she's posting her stuff on Instagram. So she's been on quite a few teams. And she used to be on Paper Issues, so that uh knowing how like things ran there, and she was a big part of the group there and helping things run smoothly. So like she's been a godsend
Oh,
already,
yes.
just helping
She's
us because
amazing.
as much as I think I understand how social media works, which I
Mhm.
do, but I just don't have the time. And
Yes.
it's not even just the time. It's I'm not as structured as I think you need to be. So like I've been learning a lot just from her going, you know what? Why am I not scheduling things? Like I scheduled last
Yep.
night before I went to bed. I scheduled a, a post for Instagram to
Hmm.
go up in the middle of the day. I was like, you know what? I don't have to sneak and do it at work. I mean,
Yep.
that's super fun, you know,
Right.
because but sometimes I'm at work and I don't have time to do it. So that's always it's just nice being able to utilize other people's talents too.
Mhm. It is.
So, and I'm just super excited about everybody
Oh
sharing on
yeah.
YouTube, and I love the images, the new ones that you made that look a little bit like the old ones, but a little
Yeah.
bit different. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how much we've talked about this, but the old images, a lot of them, I designed the backgrounds, and I
Yes,
say
you
designed
did.
them. I took a picture of stuff.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
if anybody doesn't know, for the love of homemade kits, the image that we
Yeah.
use, I use scrapbooking products and put it on a piece of paper. I probably still have that somewhere. And I took a picture of it
Yep.
and it became a thumbnail. And I
Yep.
absolutely love it. I love doing that kind of stuff. It's a lot harder. I should have known that that led me into product photos, which I would have
Mhm.
never, ever, ever, ever thought that I would love.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Because I mean, I don't know. I guess we all like to see pretty scrapbooking stuff,
Oh
but
yeah.
I would have never thought that I would like to arrange it in a way. And it is hard to do the the kits that
It
I
is.
do. It's not like when I was taking pictures for Click Kits and their
Yeah.
products, because those are all nice in packages and you can easily like take them out and do fun stuff. But like, because I have so many different textures, it's like each
Mhm.
month I'm like, okay, how do I arrange this so that it looks pretty? So sometimes it doesn't turn out as nicely as I would like, but anyway.
Oh, I think you are so good at arranging things. Like that, like I feel like I can never get it to look the way I want it to. And it's so frustrating. I think you need to like teach a class on how to do that
Do I
because
need to do like a mini
seriously,
class on how to arrange it? Like
yes.
staging. Actually, that could be
Yes.
really helpful, staging layouts, because that's like there's a lot of companies that like it when
Oh
you stage
yeah.
stuff. And I've noticed that like there's a lot of the ladies on the design teams that they'll stage their layout with stuff. Now, I one of the things that kind of got me is I'm realizing that Instagram, now that they switched to the tall instead of the wide or
Mm,
square, it's a lot
hmm.
harder, because like when you're doing kit, you want a long version and the
Yeah.
tall. So like the because I was talking to Cassie about that, and she was saying how like Instagram really likes it when it's all the same, and it looks pretty too. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just not that structured, guys. Like,
Funny.
I make
Did
it
they
work
take
when
away the white?
huh?
Did
No,
Instagram?
you can put it on there, but
Oh,
they don't
okay.
promote it as much.
Ah,
And
I see.
aesthetically, when you have a wide with a tall, it looks
Right.
so. See, so this is where
Okay.
So I was
Yeah.
trying to like get this last kit, all the pictures like
Yeah.
were tall, and I was like, this does not work. So this next time when I go to actually take photos, I need to think that in mind, because I didn't have that in mind. Because
Mm,
I mean, because I can do some, just that'll be for
right.
not Instagram. So
I
anyway,
see.
because
I
you
see.
miss out on that stuff. I'm sure everybody loves to hear about all. This is like a whole random episode. This is
It
like
is such a
a bag
random
of random
episode.
goodies. But anyway, so one of the things that we kind of wanted to touch on, and so we'll switch gears a little bit so that we actually have time to talk a little bit about it, is the fact that we're really wanting to focus a lot on the Facebook group, and trying
Yes.
to get more participation, more activity going on in there, so that
Yeah.
people actually can be inspired, and you know we have another place, especially since we're more mixed media and mixed media scrapbooking. It would be, I think I'm sure that there's other groups like that, but I feel like there's not as many. It's like you're either mixed
Yeah.
media, or you're like, I know Vicky Booten has her own thing and her own group, and that's an amazing group, but it's all Vicky Booten stuff. And I am For sure, 100%. I know. I don't want just one product. This is why I think if I ever were asked to be a big designer, I don't know if I could do it because I'd have to stick with just one thing, and that's not fair. Like to me, that's not fair. I'd rather use it all. Like why
Use
pick
all.
one? Because it's the one's not better than the other. It's like a cornucopia of mixed media stuff. It's like we got to mix them. But I get those big companies, they gotta stick in their own corner because it's their stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I get it. But that's the joy of being like us, you know, and being the buyer. And then, I mean, I guess
we
I'm
can do whatever we want.
We can do whatever. So that's my goal, is to have a place where we can use lots of different things, but kind of gear towards more scrapbooky side, but with, you know, some art journaly stuff, some junk journaly stuff, you know, but more leaning towards scrapbooking. And that I always think about that when I make the kits, is like, okay, did I add enough stuff that is scrapbooky related? Because I want to use that stuff too. Like, and it's hard. It's hard because I want to add all the media. You need the other side together. But anyway, so we have a ton of like challenges and like forum type style posts now, and that's how we're going to be running it, so that it's easy to find the things, the conversations that you want to have. And so it's so far it's been going really well. We just made the switch as the new team started, so so
this
almost
month.
a couple weeks now, and it's just been really nice to get some newer people. We've been getting some newer people having conversations in the group, and so I really want to keep working at that. And because Cassie did a wonderful job working on
she has
getting
been
it all organized, and she, like I said, she did a big part of that. And I would definitely wanted to shout her out, because I think that she, you know, it's like sometimes that stuff can easily get like overlooked because it runs nice, it looks nice, and you know, I always want to make sure that the people who are working with me and for me get credit where it's due, because we all work so hard. We all give so much to this industry, and it just sucks when you don't, you know, it just sucks. You know, you do all this work and you don't get the credit. So, but anyway, so this month so every month we have a challenge, and I encourage everyone, there's still plenty of the month to go. But every month we'll have a challenge, and there will be benefits to joining in the challenges, because we all do like giveaways and stuff, and you'll be like the people who participate more will get highlights in the group and stuff like that. So we want to really celebrate the people who are participating, because you know, we want the community. It's like, I love the community. I love that part. That's the part that we fell in love with. That's a whole part of the Crafty Maven that sometimes I think we forget about, but because it is just me and you sitting here talking, me and you behind the talking about things, but it really started about the group. It started about a collective of people, of artists and scrapbookers who just love to share and love to talk to each other to be inspired. And so I really want that to continue, and have a place for people that they can say, hey, I'm not sure about this. So this month, layering is our challenge. So we thought we'd end this conversation with talking a little bit about how we do that, how we kind of go about doing that. And I just want to encourage everyone who, if you're listening, if you want to join, I'll make sure that the link for the group is in the description. It should be already, but I'll make sure that it's like nice and big and center, so that everybody can get in there. If you're not in the group, like, be part of the group, because we have some stuff coming up for National Scrapbooking Day weekend, which I think is the beginning of May.
I want to say it.
So on the 2nd is National Scrapbooking Day, and usually that whole weekend we're just going to do like mini crop for the day so that if there's other groups that are doing stuff, you can join in on theirs.
Yep.
But we wanted to have a place. We'll probably do like a Zoom at some point, probably in the evening time, because that'll be easier to facilitate. And then I know that makes it hard for people in other countries, but we'll have a ton of challenges, and we're also going to do something in the summer too, like a whole weekend. So, but that's coming up. But anyway, so this month is layering. Okay, Megan. What is the hardest part about layering for you?
Oh gosh. I think layering in general is just always, I feel like I have to think so hard to do it. Like, I don't, and I guess really it's one of those things I make it harder than it needs to be. Like we talked about that in the other
Yeah.
episode a couple weeks ago, that it's just like layering is so easy. You just put, you could do mixed media, then you could do paper, then you could do your photo, like it's
Yeah.
so easy to do, but then it's like you kind of sit down to do it. And I think it's one of those things that I just make it harder than it needs to be. But really, it is as easy as putting down your mixed media, and then putting different papers, matting your photos, and then putting your embellishments on top. Really, I mean, it can be super simple.
Yeah.
I just always have to make it hard.
I know, and I think that is one of the things about layering is depending on the kind of person that you are. I think that makes a big difference on how the layers look, right? Because and I know I am one of those people that make it look so easy, I'm sure.
You are definitely.
And I know that is like one of my strengths.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just take the paper and just put it and just I don't
You
know.
just put it down.
You're talking about how hard it can be, and I'm like, but it's really not. But with that said, I don't scrap like you either, right?
No,
So
you don't. Yeah.
I don't put a lot of busy stuff on the bottom of my layout, well, generally, except for mixed media, right? But like that, even that I try to like pick a certain amount of colors or whatever.
Right.
So I'm usually using like 2 or 3 different colors. And then and I will say, usually start off with some kind of color in mind or something like that. One thing in mind that I want the whole layout to kind of embody. And I think that is what helps me because like, I guess I will talk about one of the last layouts I posted on my channel where I did a ton of layering. I think I went a little overboard. I'm not mad about it. Right. And so I had a color combo in my head, like the pink and teal colors, and then some black and white. And so I used that, and I didn't think too much about the patterns. I was thinking about the colors and going, okay, what 2 colors are going to look good together. And honestly, I use less of paper, less of like what's sticking out. So it's just a little bit. So it really ends up being about the color, not necessarily the pattern. And then sometimes that's why I think I like black and white sometimes, because that part can be the pattern part that you see, but it still helps break up like the other patterns that you might use. Cause I mean, I'm not just picking like the plain color pattern paper.
Right.
So I just do little pieces. Like honestly, some of my best layouts that I love are when I take the scraps from my desk and just decide to make a layout with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and see, I wonder if that's why it's so hard for me, because I love busy pattern papers and I love being able to see the pattern.
Yeah.
So when I do layers, I want you to see all of the patterns, all
Yeah.
of the pieces.
Well, and I could see how that does make it more complicated because you're making the pattern be the focus, right?
Yeah.
Where when you're layering, not to say that it can't be that way, it's just you have to be more intentional. So you do have to take more time to think about like what patterns actually work together, what colors within those patterns do you need to help make it cohesive, right?
Right.
And like when I'm doing, because like when I think about layouts that I've used bold patterns, I usually try to do some kind of design with it
Mm-hmm.
so that you can see the patterns. Like I think about there's
Right.
been some layouts where I've done like a pinwheel type of situation
Yeah.
or like circles sometimes. Like I've seen other people do this where it's like a pie chart, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that you get you can see the different patterns. Or sometimes I'll do it like up at the top and bottom, or at the top, I'll layer some like patterns and you can see them more as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
like doing it behind a photo or like near
Right.
or whatever. But yeah,
Okay.
so I mean, it's just a style, it's like there's
Yeah, it
nothing
is a
wrong with
style.
wanting to showcase the pattern. Someone took the time to make a really cool pattern, and
Right.
there are so many really cool patterns. And
Mm-hmm.
like when you like patterns and that's the
Mm-hmm.
focus, you're less focused on a like layering it. Not to say that you
Right.
can't get good layering with busy patterns, because you for sure
Mm-hmm.
can. So you just
Yeah.
have to be a little bit more intentional. And it does take a little bit longer. And it does make you think, oh, I can't do this. But you can. It's just
Yeah.
you want it to look a certain way because you want it to look good. You want to showcase and highlight that pattern that you
Yeah.
fell in love with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
And I wonder if I start like matting my photos on either like black or white or like just a base color, if
Mm,
that would be helpful. Because that's also
probably.
another thing that I've noticed is like if I mat my photos on a pattern paper, you lose the pattern and then
Oh,
it
yeah.
bothers me. And so like I wonder if I just need to invest in like some like just plain papers,
Yeah.
cardstocks, and just have those on hand, and then maybe that would kind of help me layer a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Okay.
yeah, because you can start off with that. And if you wanted another layer, like behind the photo, behind that, or
Yeah.
like somewhere else, you could pick a pattern that's not busy,
Hmm.
right? So that it doesn't distract from the busy patterns that you want,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think,
This is all good information.
right?
Like
Because and
taking
I know that
notes.
there's a lot of people that have a hard time doing it, just like you.
Yeah.
And I think that's like how you come to it is like, what is your intention for scrapbooking? Like, or what do
Hmm.
you like about scrapbooking, on your pages? If you are somebody who likes patterns and you want to showcase them, it is going to look different, and it needs to look different
Oh,
than someone who is using it like me, like more color based or like some kind of theme. Like sometimes it's leaves, sometimes it's flowers. I don't know. Like there's just different things like that I will pick and go, okay, I want to kind of highlight this. And so that's the vessel. So I don't care so much about the pattern. Not to say that I
yeah.
don't like pattern, not to say that I don't do layering, that I love a pattern, because
Right.
there's so many patterns that I love. But
Hmm.
but that is so much easier when you're not focused on like showcasing a pattern, for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Right? And there's a
Yeah,
way to
that
do
makes sense.
both too. It's just you kind of have to be creative, and sometimes it's looking at how other people did it, right? And
Hmm.
go, okay, what did they do that I liked? And how can I incorporate one thing? And I think sometimes that's part of our problem. And
Hmm.
right? We'll see a layout and we're like, oh my gosh, that's so gorgeous. So I
Hmm.
got to take all these elements instead of just saying, let me just take one thing from this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point too.
Right? And you just take
Yeah.
one thing from it and you do that. And then it's like you could use the same layout and take 10 different things and make 10 different layouts because you just utilize one element of it. And then from there you could go, okay, well, what two could I add together? Or you take two, right? Because I,
Mhm.
as I know myself, I got to make things complicated, which is why I know I do a ton of mixed media and I overdo it on layers and I overdo it. But it's like, and also I will say, so part of my reasoning for the layers is I want to see the texture. So it's
Mhm.
not, so it's like I'm looking for different material things that are going to give it a life, if you will, in a different way.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
want to see that. So when I take my close-ups and I can see, the fabric next to this, next to that, the twine, all these different things that are creating like this balance, but it's got to be balanced. And really you only do it by practicing. Like you
Yeah.
only like what you enjoy and what looks good in your mind and eye and stuff is different than somebody else. Now,
Hmm.
you can collectively say, oh, that person's layout is gorgeous. They put that together really great. But
Yeah.
honestly, like, and I'm sure you've done this, I've done this, where I've scrap lift somebody and I was like, oh my gosh, I did not like that at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's just not what looks good in person to us, or it
Mhm.
doesn't feel natural to us because our approach is different. So I think when we complicate it by doing too many things and
Yeah.
incorporating too many different elements, especially for something that's difficult, if it's easy, then like disregard
Yeah.
that,
Just
it doesn't
yeah.
matter. But so I think that's one thing when we're thinking about layering that has to be addressed is like, okay, what textures are you looking for? Does that matter to you? If you, because there are a lot of people who like things nice and flat. I think that's why I have a hard time and I couldn't just do digital scrapbooking. Because
Yeah.
as much as you can try to, and there are some great designers who make it look as real as possible,
Hmm.
it's just never going to look like a real layout that has
Right.
dimension and texture.
Yeah.
Like, just not going to, because it's not. It's a
It's
computer
not.
based
Yeah. Right.
product,
Yep.
and there's some great designers who design products that have dimension to them and have texture. It's
Oh
just it
yeah.
doesn't look it. So, but some people like that flat look.
Hmm. Yep.
That is
There's a
pleasing
lot
to
of
their
people.
eyes.
Yeah.
So, like when you're approaching it, like how much of that of that element matters to you, because if it doesn't, if that's not what you want to achieve, then you got to think about, how do I make this one, I say one dimensional, like not trying to make it seem like a bad thing, because in my mind I'm
Right.
like, that sounds
Yeah.
like a bad word. but but you want it to be, you still want to focus and highlight something different. Like a lot of times it's the photo, or I know
Hmm.
that the photo is part of the process for mine. It's not the whole thing. And I have a ton of photos that I absolutely love, but
Yeah.
I love all the other stuff that's on the layout too,
Mhm.
right? So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna start doing that a lot. Like getting some, I know that I have cardstock. I just gotta find it
yeah.
wherever I put
Well,
it.
because I feel like our industry is kind of steered away from cardstock in a lot
Yeah.
of ways. It's like all
Eh,
about the pattern papers. And don't get me wrong,
yes.
like, but there is something, and with that said, I always back my photos with white cardstock pretty much every
Mhm.
single time,
Yeah.
because I don't know what it is, but having that white border around my
It just
photo,
pops.
it just, yeah, it helps it
Yeah.
pop. It helps me with something not bold or, crazy
Hmm.
next to that photo, so that there's that buffer zone.
Yeah.
So I think that's where getting cardstock, and I mean, I'm sure you could go to what, Michael's or Hobby Lobby, and probably just find like pretty cheap one, and you might even be able to get it thinner too, so it's not as like thick, so
Yeah.
that you can
Yeah.
use other
That's true.
elements that you love as those thicker or whatever pieces, if that's what you
Yeah.
want.
That's true. Yeah, because dimension is hard for me. Like, I love it. I love the dimension. I love the textures. I love all of that. But at the same time, I'm like, that's so thick. That's gonna be like so like, like it's gonna take up so much space in my album. Like, I
See, yeah, I could
definitely
care
think
less.
about
I
stuff.
could care
Yes.
stinking less. I could
Yeah.
care less. I have so many mixed media journal. Like, look at this. I mean, this one's not even that bad.
Yeah, that's not
Let
that
me see
bad.
if I can find one of my ones that is like crazy. Because I know I have some that are like, holy cannoli.
Like 5 inches thick.
No, those are other mini comics. I think one of them is in there, but where did I put? Can I not find them? Are they all disappeared?
Uh-oh. You'll have to put a photo
Oh,
in here.
it
Did you
doesn't
find
help
it?
or that. I mean, I guess I can just find one of these mini albums that I got because that's a good example. Like, I mean, look at this mini album. Look
Oh,
how,
wow. That is pretty thick.
and I have a ton of travelers notebooks that are look like this too.
Oh, yeah. Traveler's notebooks are easy to do that
So
with.
this one I need to get different glue because all of the glue is coming off the canvas because it was damaged.
Oh,
But like,
no.
look at the little. I can't
Oh,
turn it because this is gonna fall off. These little spoolies.
cute.
They're like the
Yeah,
cutest thing.
that's really
That
thick.
really that would have been really cool for the March kit, but
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think about that. I wonder if I could find something like that for another kit. Because those were super fun to play with, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Super, super fun. Those little spoolies are Maya Road. Because they asked
Oh,
me to be like a
fun.
designer or something.
Yeah.
So I got like a whole box of stuff. They just sent
Oh,
me a
wow.
box of stuff. I'm like, yay. But yeah, so it's like I know that's hard for a lot of people too, that dimension,
Yeah.
because they're thinking, how am I going to get my album to close?
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and well, and you do have to think, how is this going to stay on over time?
Over time.
My
Yep.
stuff is coming off of that, and I made that while I was here, so
Mm,
you know,
yep.
I don't remember what year I made it. Probably 2017, maybe 2008.
Wow.
So not really all that long. I mean, yes, it's been long, but in the grand scheme of life, I mean, how
Right.
many
It's
layouts
not.
have you grabbed and that were older and the stuff is in the bottom of the
Been
protector,
lost.
or you're thinking, oh, I'll put this away, and then the stickers come off. Like I have a couple of
Mhm.
layouts so that I don't have
Yep.
off to the side but needed to be off to the side because the stickers were coming off, because
Oh, yeah.
even though I added glue to the thickers, because we all know thickers don't
They don't stay.
they don't stay.
Yeah.
With that said, how many times have we done um use the thickers and then had to take them off and rearrange them because we
Yeah.
didn't get it just right, for the title?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, that is something to think about. Like, how dimensional do you want? Like, I don't
Hmm.
care. I could care less. And I use so much foam and like pop dot things. Like, I use
Yeah.
so much dimensional adhesive to keep
Adhesive.
things, because that's how I do it, so that I can get that dimensional look, that I can get
Yeah.
that you can see the different patterns, because I've put things in between the layers so that it showcases it more.
Hmm. You know
Or
what? We need to do a podcast episode of all of the supplies that you use that are good to use with mixed media, because I was thinking about
yeah,
this the other day. Because like stuff doesn't stick to mixed media layouts as well as just papers, you know?
yeah.
So, like, we should do an episode. I want to know what glue you use. I want to know, like, all of the things because I have started using
So
more mixed media and it just falls
yeah,
right off.
yeah. If you don't use enough, I use a lot of liquid glue.
Do you?
I do, and I hate
Yeah.
liquid glue because it's so
Yeah,
messy.
I
But
do too.
honestly, you kind of have to. So, uh, obviously, we'll do that episode. But one of the glues that I need to get and I don't have, but I used it at CHA or
Hmm.
Creativation.
Whatever you call it.
um, Last year is Dina Wakley has a mixed media glue, and it's a little bit stronger
Ooh.
than like a matte medium like glue.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yeah, you
she
need to
has
get some of that
those.
in
So I
in
need
the
to get it
shop.
for the store too. I
Yeah.
was thinking that. I know that I need to do buy where I just buy some of those supplies. I did
Hmm.
add, so coming up next month or when the new stuff comes in, I did get some papers. So some different papers. So,
Well, fun.
but I need to get more because
Yeah.
I realize that at a fault because I don't use it because it's kind of expensive, but
Mm,
you can get like watercolor paper or like more of a mixed media type paper. I was talking
yeah.
to actually at Creativation, I was talking to Willow Wolf. So she's a newer designer with Sizzix and she does watercolor.
Okay.
And she was talking
Ooh.
about that and she was saying like how beneficial that is and it's like, I know. And I know this, but it's like, that's the hard part is like when you're doing like certain things, you're going to get a better look if you have
Mhm.
the right glue and you have the right paper. But
Right.
sometimes I just use, it's a lot
Use
cheaper to
what
get
you have.
the smooth American Craft cardstock.
Yeah.
It's a little bit thicker, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, and just FYI, so everybody knows this, because I had a conversation with Miranda about this too. Vicky Booten, her mixed media paper that was with American Craft, it is being discontinued. So if you see it somewhere, get it now before people raise up the price because it'll get raised.
Oh, wow.
'Cause I tried to order just the mixed media paper and I could not get it.
Oh no.
So it's like already discontinued.
Gone.
They've already stopped making it. So
Oh.
what people bought from from American Crafts or Notions.
Hmm.
But there is. So if you see it and you love that kind of paper, so this is just a PSA for anybody who likes that kind because I was talking to Miranda and she was like, "Hey," because she wanted me to get some, and so I was gonna definitely like, "Yeah, sure, I can grab some of that for the store."
Yeah.
Um, I've never used it, but you know, I
Is it
mean,
just like white cardstock, but it's for mixed
I think
media?
it's like a mixed media, like watercolor paper cardstock. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Okay.
it was
'Cause
in
I've
the 12
never
by
seen
12
it.
size. So,
Hmm. I've never seen it. I guess I never will.
yeah. So, well, some of the paper that I think I got the pack that it has like, it's a paper pad that has multiple different types of papers in it, and it has some of that in there. So, with that said, I will have
Oh.
some stuff, but it has other papers in it. It has like vellum. It has some other papers in it too. It's a pad.
Mm, okay.
So I did pick up some of that. But I
Yeah.
wanted to get just like a watercolor or like mixed media type of paper. Well, and I want to get
Yeah.
some black too because some of like the Simon Hurley pastes and there's some
Mhm.
other pastes that like look better on black versus white or it looks a little different. And even one of the ink pads that I got for June. Um those ones are like the color looks different if it's on white or if it's on black. So
Oh, interesting.
it's a highly pigmented, like shimmery ink pad.
That's
So I've
cool.
not used it because I didn't want to open it because I wanted to have it available to more people. But that's
Right.
the hard part about having a store, let me tell you guys. because I would like to use everything, but I also want to have stuff available for people because I know my buying power is very limited. Once we get a big store, it won't be as big of a deal. Of course, with that said, I don't want to think about that because then I have to think about like getting a bigger space and paying for that. But anyway,
yeah,
that'll be a while. But yeah. So, but more when we get bigger, I'll be able to have more. I'll be able to use more stuff because I can buy more easily. So, which is why it's nice to have designers because then they can use a whole kit worth of stuff. Where I just don't feel right about taking a whole kit and using it yet. I have taken some stuff like the distress grands and stuff like that, and like some of the leftover bits and pieces and used them and stuff. So because the media is better too if you showcase it. But anyway. Well, and even so that's even something to think about with layering, right? If you're going to layer mixed media, like how are you doing that to, and Shannon was talking about this, like how do I get this so it doesn't muddy and muddle up together, right?
Yeah.
And so some of this is the paper that you're using. Are you letting it dry in between? What kind of media is it where if it gets re-wet, will it be reactivated? So is it water-based, alcohol-based? Like certain things dry and then it's like set it and forget it and it's done. And it won't lift up. Certain things will lift up. And anything with, depending if this is where color theory really does kind of come in play and is helpful if you understand like complementary colors versus like opposite colors or colors that really just don't go well together, or if you're using every color, because there are some of us who love to use every single color on the layout, right? But you have to think about that, like if it's cool or warm based, right? Because mix the wrong colors, you are going to end up with poop eventually.
Yes.
And certain mediums don't mix as well together, right? So you like as much as I can try to let things dry in between, especially if I don't want them to mix together because I know that they'll mix and be a different color. Like if it's two colors that work well together, then it's not as deal. Like pink and blue together, I'm cool with sometimes being purple. But if I didn't want purple on the layout and I wanted it to be blue and pink, then I have to make sure that they're separate or that they've dried and that they're not going to reactivate and mix. Because I have a lot of media where it just reactivates. It's like a lot of the shimmer stuff does that. It just reactivates and you can end up real quick with mud colors. Mud, no one's want poop on their spreads,
we
right?
don't.
And I think this is why, so Cassie, she posted a layout with red because one of the was it one of the sprays? I don't know. One of them had some red and she used it and I remember when I gave her the kit and she was like, I'm not sure how many uses red because and I told her I know it's brave, right? Like using red on a background layout can easily turn into murder fest, right? Like easily. But like there is ways to do it to where it can look nice. She did an awesome job. I love the way it looks on the back.
Her layout is gorgeous.
So it's like this is where like using too much of one color. So being strategic about how you're layering the colors or a color and like what you want to put on top so that you can get hints of something without it being. I think that's why I have a hard time with the smushing because I know that it's going to blend together if you use different colors too.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it layers together. Like even when you take two smushes with the same color and it's just like, it's like I want that each like little smush to like show. And I just haven't gotten there yet. Maybe one day or maybe not. We're going to talk about Hannah's inability to do smushing like almost every single episode. That should be like a counter. We should have a counter. How many times did Hannah mention smushing in this month, this season?
Yes, we should start a counter. Oh gosh.
Okay. Is there anything else we want to mention with layering?
I don't think so.
Okay. Yep. So definitely be on the lookout for the design team because they're also keeping in mind that layers are our thing. And I know we had quite a few questions about layering in the group. And I have 2 videos that will be coming out on the Crafty Maven where I show
Yay.
my layering, but just the backgrounds. So it's not a full layout, it's just the background. So it's just highlighting, talking about the layering, and one will be full mixed media and then layering the mixed media paper layers, if that makes sense. And then one is just using scraps from my desk and layering them together.
Oh, fun. I'm excited to see those.
I know I shared somewhere, I think it was my channel, like a very fast forward of the scraps one, and that did really well on the shorts. But I want to showcase it and just talk about how I layered it. So be on the lookout for that. So, and Shannon did a lot of layering, and hers looked awesome.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. So, and everybody else, like I said, Cassie, she was layering a cut file on top of the mixed media and stuff with the layers. And so,
yeah.
So, yay. And if you make a layered layout, come over to the Crafty Maven Getaway destination group. So, because we're a destination, it's like vacation in art form. And up at the top there, that challenge will be up there, and you can put your layout in there, and then we will pick a spotlight to highlight. And on the website, so I did upgrade the website just a little bit, so it's a little bit easier for finding things. And on there I have some ladies who got pass kits, so right now that's what's on there, but eventually the people who we pick for the spotlight, I'll put those on the website too. So just be aware. So if you don't want that, you can always let me know. But I wanted to highlight what our group, what members are doing with their products that they get with the kits or the challenges. So you don't have to use any of our products in the challenge layouts. So it's just the theme. So we wanted to kind of keep some of those elements from the Crafty Maven and the inspiration pieces not necessarily be required of product, because I know we all have so much stash, right? And
oh my gosh, yeah. Oh gosh.
But anyway, so I think that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We're good for today. So
yeah.
Layer. Have fun layering. Just play.
Yes.
And
then come share with us in our group.
Us and have conversations, because we love conversations. And I love when I get distracted in the group and then, I've just talked to people. So,
yeah.
So anyway, we'll see you guys next week, and have a great scrappy week. Bye.
Bye.